we're so happy that you're on with us. It is a very special movie, and of course, the book was very special to a lot of people. And but there's a lot of pressure, I think, behind it too. Like, oh, I got to get this right. And so, you kind of have to put yourself in a certain mindset, which is a separate mindset from going on set. Of sort of bearing that responsibility, which of course it all turned out well. But is there something that you kept in mind that kind of just kept you on the right path when you were shooting or when you were accepting and realizing kind of what you were up against here?
Honestly, yeah, it was a lot of pressure, I think, for everyone involved in this film, because honestly, at the core of it, we just really wanted to make Judy happy, because Margaret was her baby. She never let anyone have it for 50 years, and then finally she handed it over to Kelly and to Jim and to Julie and and we all felt so honored. But I think there was this little voice in the back of my head, definitely, that was like, okay, we have to make Judy happy. I have to do this right. We have to get this right. And especially when she was on set, I think we were all just nervously looking over our shoulders, like, oh my God, is she liking this? What are her thoughts? But yeah, I think that what really kept me, motivated and feeling like I was doing it right was, just Judy being happy, as well as, everyone being so supportive and constantly just making the set a wonderful, positive place to work. And it was just a really wonderful experience. And my fears did go down after a while, and after the film came out and Judy said she was happy, and we were all like, okay, thank you. Oh my God, she's happy. Yay, we've done our job. Yeah,
Was there anything that was the most daunting thing in the script for you when you were going into production that you were kind of like, I don't know if I can get this right?
Daunting. When I first read the script, I was 12, so having to have my first kiss on screen was pretty scary to me. But we did that. We got it done.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done.
But I really dove into the script and broke it down. And I think when you first look at a script and when you first get it, I think the whole thing is kind of scary. You're like, okay, especially with a lead role, you're carrying a movie. And I just stepped back, looked at it, and then dove straight in to the work and really broke it down with my dad, my coach. And once you split it up into little pieces and you really start to understand your character and really develop your choices and just really understand where your character's coming from and where the story and what it's going to mean, I think that helps with the dauntingness of it.
And another age question, did you have any idea who Jim Brooks was when this all started?
Yes. I knew of him. I knew my brother is a huge fan of The Simpsons. He's been binging it for like years now.
But you can, there's so many of them.
I think he's on like season 26 or something. He's going through it. He's like, I'm gonna get to the end of The Simpsons. I'm gonna get to the end of it.
There's no end.
So I knew that he was the creator of The Simpsons, but beyond that, I didn't really know who he was. But then,
and have you seen any of his stuff since? There's a lot.
God,
some of the greatest sitcoms ever.
For a second. I'm sure I have.
Okay. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but most of his movies are rated or for adults or whatever. But we definitely have to catch up with broadcast news, and which I think you're old enough for, certainly. And what's the great one with Shirley MacLaine and Jack Nicholson?
Terms of Endearment.
Thank you. Yes. There's some great Jim Brooks movies, and
I have a bunch of films to watch now.
And the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which was one of the great sitcoms of all time. But yeah, you're ready to play Holly Hunter as in the prequel to Broadcast News anytime now. Adriano, you had another question? Yes or no?
Sorry, there are no other colleagues that maybe they won't ask us.
I have no other hands. You're the hand of the hand.
Okay, that's good.
You're the Peter Dinklage of the interview. I'm a Thrones reference. I don't know if you know it, Abby. Sorry.
No worries. I do. Being this said in the past, how do you use specific costumes and props and hairstyle in order maybe to try to understand better your character?
Yeah, so we worked with the incredible Anne Roth on the costumes for Margaret. And, Anne is such an interesting person to talk to, because she doesn't just think, oh, a plaid dress would look good in this scene. She's thinking about, oh, Margaret would have one dirty sock and one clean sock. One would be rolled up really high. One would be like, she would have clothes thrown everywhere. She really just dives in and thinks about the character. And that was really helpful to me in thinking about exactly how Margaret would treat her clothes and treat fashion. And, and especially I think in a time when, when you're 11, you're 12, you're figuring out your style, you're figuring out what you like, what you don't like. And that was really helpful to me to really be able to figure out her character and the way that she viewed style and the world that she was living in, and how she viewed other people's style. And, honestly, how out of place she was. If you look at, what she was wearing, she was always kind of the, I don't have a care in the world about style and fashion until she met Nancy, and then it switched. And I think that was a really important turning point for Margaret that I was aware of, and that Anne did a wonderful job showing through clothes. And so that the clothes definitely helped me in figuring out Margaret's character and her journey that she was going on with herself and, her self-discovery. And then also walking onto set every single day to a completely just 70s everything, that was a dream come true for me. I'm a huge fan of, 70s, 80s music, and I thrift all my clothes. So that was just a dream for me. It was like stepping into a time machine every single day.
You need to get you a lava lamp.
My brother has one. I can go grab it.
And I assume you saw Anne's acting performance this summer as well.
Yeah.
That you saw. I figured you might have seen Barbie.
Yeah. My mom saw her in the trailer, and I was like, hold up, there's no way she's in this. And then we looked at her face a little closer, and we were like, oh my God, wait, that's Anne. So my mom texted her, and she was like, yeah, that was me. Did Greta a favor. Like, oh my God, that's so cool. Yeah, but that was really cool to see her in that.
And she's wonderful in it.
Oh yeah.
Alexandra H, we can hear you even if we can't see you.
Great. Hi Abby, great movie, great performance. A lot of times when you do a movie and you're a kid actor, you're stuck with adults totally. And I was wondering, since you got to act with other kids, did that make this experience more fun?
Yeah, I mean, the 4 weeks where we had just all of the kids was super fun. We had, the camp stuff, the party scenes. I think the energy on set was very high during those weeks. Everyone was very excited. And I mean, when you have a bunch of teenagers and kids on a set, it's always very fun. And yeah, it is true. I mean, you are stuck with adults most of the time, so it is always fun to get to work with other people your age.
Do you spend your time gossiping about your agents and what gigs you're up for, or is it kids conversation?
I don't
conversation.
Oh my God, I can't remember. It was like 2 years ago that we shot this.
Do you compete with those girls for roles? You show up at auditions that they're at?
No, honestly, I think everyone's in a very different place.
That's true.
Um,
You're all
but-
very different types, as it were.
Yeah.
And are you still going on auditions on a regular basis, or do you go on auditions on a regular basis?
It's a little different now, especially, and of course the strike, so wasn't going up for anything then, but it's, you know, it's different. I'm also very, I don't want to use the word picky, but I'm very selective about the projects that I do, because whatever I get involved in, you know, it takes a lot of time, and especially while I'm still in school. I just want to do projects that I really care about and I really feel connected to. And, you know, the good ones, there's not a ton of them that have a role for like an almost 16-year-old. So
I assume your parents also have an opinion on how much time you spend working.
yeah, so we're all actors, and we all have everyone's careers to think about. So we have to, you know, be very flexible and also selective with what we do and go away for, because we all travel as a family to really, because I have a younger brother and we try to keep the family together as much as we can.
Do you have one more, Paul, before we go?
Absolutely. Well, related to that, and now that you've done it and done it well, you know, and other kids are probably looking at going, okay, well, I want to do this too. And it is kind of fun to get in if you can. But what kind of advice do you give to those other kids that want to get into this now? Because this is a completely different answer than maybe someone might have from, you know, decades ago.
Yeah, I think that if you want to be an actor, you can't lose hope. If you love this and you really want to do it and this is your passion, then you can't get discouraged, because this industry has a lot of no's. You'll get turned down, you won't get an audition, you won't get a job, you won't get a part. And it can be really tough sometimes, especially when you're just starting out and you can kind of just get dragged down in all the no's. You can feel really bad, like, oh, am I not enough? But you are enough. You can do this. It is amazing when you get to. Just keep going. And when you do get the opportunity, just work as hard as you can to make it your best and to do your best, and to just stay humble and stay true to yourself, as well as doing an incredible job in whatever you choose to do.
When you're doing it, do you feel like you know that you hit it when it works? Do you feel like you've done your best when you do your best?
Yeah, I think that I know when I'm doing my hard work, I know that I know that I'm working as hard as I can, and I know that you know, I think that everyone who is any sort of artist, no matter if you're an actor or any other artist, you know, I think that we all know when we're doing hard work, and I think that we all know when we're doing our best and we're doing as much as we can.
So after a decade of this, it sounds like you're just kind of still at the beginning. So places to go, things to do.
Yeah, I think I hopefully have a long career ahead of me. So
like you say, you keep your mind in it.
Tick off my bucket list.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time for us to let you go, but it looks like you're heading to the front row of a fashion show somewhere, as opposed to going back to school or something.
For finals, so
I got to study for finals. My God, that history test, brutal. You got to watch Oppenheimer 3 more times. You could take up your entire week with Benny. Beautiful Benny. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, gentlemen and others, for for coming out. And the movie remains one of the great fun movies of the year. So everybody's still loving it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.